start?
Yeah, just now. Welcome back.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna start every single episode just like this. Did we start yet? Yep.
Well, yeah, we don't do a countdown or anything. Just makes it more fluid, I guess.
That's for noobs. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Noobs. Is that even
We're
an insult
basic-
anymore?
I don't think so.
We're basically experts at this point. 5 episodes in, yeah, we know everything.
What a noob. All right. Yes, welcome back. Another week, another Saturday of recording.
Let's go.
I switched my camera angle back again.
Were you not digging the other one?
No, I set up my stream PC. So that camera is plugged into that computer, and now I just have a regular webcam for my main computer, which is what I record these on. So
Nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm not gonna plug stream or anything because, it's whatever. I think it's on my. It might be on my Twitter. You can check there.
I'll plug my stream. I have no shame.
It's in your border on your name.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I don't stream, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
You should
we'll give
stream.
you we'll put a GoFundMe or
A
not a
GoFundMe?
GoFundMe. What is it called? Like a Venmo. We'll put your Venmo there.
Yeah, there we go.
Just a. The hell's GoFundMe? Oh, it's like whenever you need money for like funerals or something,
Yeah, usually I think it has to do with medical stuff.
like a charity or something. Yeah.
Right.
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
We could start one of those anyways.
It's true. Get us a sponsor.
Struggling adults.
Watch the first
That too.
first Venmo is going to be from Joe Rogan.
That'd be sick.
$10 million.
$10 million.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, I guess let's jump into it. First topic of the day. I mentioned it a few times in our last episode, episode 4. If you haven't listened or watched to it, go do that. But the first topic will be mods that have become games. So the leading example, I mentioned it in the last episode as well, was PUBG. PUBG was a mod for Arma 2, I think, if I remember right. It was a mod for Arma 2. It was like the
Google.
first like big battle royale, if I remember correctly. And then I think Bluehole, which is the company behind PUBG, I think they paid, or maybe he made it first and then I'm not reading anything. I'm just kind of guessing here, but I'm pretty sure he made the game standalone and then Bluehole bought it from him or something like that. And then he completely stepped away. So I don't think he actually does anything with the game anymore. It's completely managed by that company now. Which if you look at PUBG from the beginning to now, even just the main menu is dramatically different. Back then was like play, settings, exit, and then it was like, do you want third person or first person? And that was it. Now it's like
I didn't even know
mobile
that that was
game.
an option.
What,
to do
third or
both.
first?
I thought it was always just third.
Maybe at first it was just third, because that's how no, Arma was both as well. I think you could switch between the two, and then people maybe eventually wanted a first person mode or something. It's been so long. But yeah, and then now the game looks like a mobile game. If you open it, there's so much stuff. They have bonuses for logging in 7 days in a row, and like there's so
My God.
so many microtransactions and stuff, which like
Yikes.
whatever, personally for me, like I don't really care about the microtransactions. But yeah, now that there's like ranked modes and like all this other stuff, it's got a pretty insane player base still. I think it still hits like 1 million a day or something.
That's nuts. If it still gets that many.
Is PUBG free? Is it a free game?
I don't think so. I think it's like $30 or something, $15. Oh, I was way off. It's definitely not 1 million a day. It's 300K a day, it seems. But it does have one of the highest, if not the highest, peak players of all time on Steam, which was 3.3 million.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I think majority of the player base is in China though, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it is free to play.
It is free to play. Cool. Yeah,
The reviews are mixed. They have 2 million reviews.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. My biggest gripe about PUBG is just like the netcode. Like it's really frustrating to mag dump someone and then they seemingly turn around and kill you like just as fast. And like you go to look at the kill cam and they have like 1/4 of their HP still. Like it's pretty frustrating. However, they did just add a search and destroy mode in the game.
That's pretty cool.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I was playing it. It's pretty fun. It's got like an economy system, kind of like CS and Valorant, where like whenever you start, you have X amount of money, and you could like buy a pistol or buy whatever, and then like it carries over to the next round. If you kill someone, you can take their gun, and it carries over to the next round too. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a very dead horse concept, but it's cool to see PUBG do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, my biggest. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
I know I was going to say really quickly. I'm on the website really quick. It almost looks like Saints Row 3 or something like that. Like it does look
PUBG?
very. Yeah.
You know,
like
honestly,
Saints Row.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Let me pull up the website.
I've seen a couple bigger streamers like play it recently, so that's the only reason why I know. Otherwise, PUBG is not a game for me. But,
yeah. Not that
it is a pretty crazy looking website.
Yeah. It does look like they added a lot.
The microtransactions make sense since it's a free game, free to play game.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem with it was the movement. It was so hard for me to just get used to. Like, it felt like I had a parachute on my back every time I jumped.
You can't really play PUBG, and play other games. It seems because it's such a unique movement style that like I play that and then I go back to playing CS or something, and it's just like completely different. Like you're so floaty in PUBG, like you said, like a parachute, like and like mantling and clambering everything just feels like very kind of like meh. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean that's the biggest game I can think of that was like mod became full game.
It's a good example.
The biggest game for me would be DayZ. I mean, because that came from
DayZ
Arma 2 as well, right?
And like DayZ was one of the games that whenever it became a standalone, I think majority of the people didn't like it, and they were like, "We just want the mod." At least maybe that was just our friend circle, because that's like I remember whenever that game first released in standalone, it pretty much everyone that we played with were like, we just want to play the mod. This is not, because like the standalone was very very like very very clunky, but I mean,
right.
So was the mod, but understandably so because it was a mod, right? And like it still had the Arma like bones, but like behind it, so a lot of the playstyle, not the playstyle, but a lot of the mechanics and stuff were very similar to Arma, so it felt okay.
I didn't realize Arma was such a big deal. Like
Arma was
to make
big,
these games. That's crazy.
Yeah, DayZ was Arma 2, I think, as well. Still, same thing as PUBG.
And I didn't know that Counter-Strike was a mod.
Counter-Strike was a mod of Half-Life.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I looked it up a little bit.
Yeah, CS 1.3, I think, was the first. I can't remember if that was the first standalone, or if that was like the mod of Arma. I didn't play back then, but yeah, like 1.3 was like the big. That's what all the like old head CS:GO players will reference whenever they talk about old Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Wow.
Another one that I see is Dota 2 was a mod from Warcraft 3.
Yep, Dota 2 was also a Warcraft 3 mod. I think I don't entirely remember the lore of all this, but I think League of Legends was also a mod at one point from Dota. Or maybe the creators Mark and Brandon just really enjoyed Dota, and then they made League of Legends. I don't really remember the story behind it, but Yeah, there's a lot of really big games that were mods that became full games. Jeez.
Yeah, it seems like modified versions of games are just better than the original for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe not at first.
took
uh,
took a little bit.
yeah, I mean, there was a couple games that, like I said, like DayZ, like felt terrible whenever it first came out. I mean, even, oh God, what was the other mod we always played on Arma? Wasteland. Did you ever play the Wasteland mod? I don't know if either one of you played Arma that much.
No, I never
The
did.
only thing I played of Arma was DayZ. That
Dude.
was it.
If they made so there is kind of standalone Wasteland games, but not necessarily tied into like the Arma mechanics. So Wasteland, this is what like majority of us spent our time on. It was like you spawned in on a map. And Tyler, since you played DayZ, you know how big the map is. And Brett, you might
Huge.
have watched DayZ content. Just how
Yeah, I think I watched some of it.
yeah, so like
Played it quite a bit.
it's a massive map, right? So like you spawn in and you have like a base kit, like you may have like a pistol or like a shitty AR or something, and then you can loot weapons in the world and like party up with people, and like the concept I think is just to just make a bunch of money, and you can drive basically anywhere in the map and PvP. And if you kill people, you can take their stuff, right? Kind of like a battle royale. Think of it as like a battle royale that doesn't have a circle that closes in, right? And there's shops. So you can like the money that you accumulate, you can go to these shops and buy better gear and stuff. So like, it was really fun. It was a lot of fun. Like, in the
Correct.
shops all had like a. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong. Does that sounds? I didn't play a lot of it, but that sounds an awfully lot like Division. Is that accurate in saying that, or is that kind of a stretch?
No, Division's more of a.
No,
It's like
'cause I know
it's like a looter shooter. That's like Destiny, right?
okay,
Like,
gotcha.
Division and Destiny are more comparable. I think this is more like I mean, it's literally just a battle royale without a circle. I don't know if there's another game that is like it.
Tarkov.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah, in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's like shops, but the shops are like, so that's actually what Tarkov wants to be. So the end game of Tarkov, or like the 1.0 full release of Tarkov, they want it to be open world, where like all the traders and stuff are in the world that you can walk up to and buy from. So
That'd be
that's
pretty sick.
that's what Wasteland was. But there was like a proximity circle around the shop, and it will tell you like if an enemy's close by. So if you're in the shop and someone's trying to come up and gank you, it kind of tells you. And that's like majority of the PvP in Wasteland was all these people like surrounding the shops and everyone fighting each other and stuff. It was so much fun. We had a lot. It was a blast.
I
But
feel like there'd be a problem with that. Like, wouldn't campers just be a thing at all times?
yeah,
if that
but
was
it's
the case?
expected. It's like it's not like
fair.
it's like built into the game, so you're not like mad that someone's camping. It's just
I don't know
I'd
what
be
you're
mad.
getting
Part of it.
into.
Oh, I'd be mad. Like, why are they there? They shouldn't be there.
speaking of camping. Do you
Yeah?
think that there is like a psychological inset to gaming with camping and like that play style? Like, do you think that people like does it change from like because I play even whenever I play Valorant and I'm defending a bomb site, I get called a camper.
Yeah.
And it's
Same.
like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, so
So, go ahead, Daniel.
I was
Finish
just
your
gonna
thought.
say, like, is there like, there's like, what are the psychological aspects of like gaming, I guess, that adhere to player behavior?
So-
I don't know. Tyler, you want to touch on this first?
Well, I was just gonna say, have you guys noticed? I'll ask this question first. Do you guys notice even today people still say that?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
yeah.
I haven't played a multiplayer game in literally probably 8 months, so I have no idea how people still view that. But I mean, I remember yelling it at people in like high school, like way back in the day, like Modern Warfare 2 toxic days where everyone was just talking shit to each other. I always remember yelling this effing camber, yada, yada, yada. And I think it's just because I myself had horrible ADD and like could not sit. And so like seeing someone else do that pissed me off. And I also think, I don't know, like everyone wants in multiplayer games, in my opinion, especially something like Call of Duty, they want the most kills out of anyone in the lobby just to, prove how good they are at the game. So when someone like kind of cheats that system and stops that from happening for that person, like they just get pissed off. I think that's all it really is.
Yeah, I think the new word that I've heard a lot lately has been rat. That's the new camper word.
Oh,
Everybody
that's so
says
true.
Everybody just says, "What a rat!" Like they could be running around and what a rat, dude. This fucking guy. What a rat.
Yeah, well, I get it from Tarkov, right? Because like a rat in Tarkov is someone that's just like slow crouching or like just moving omega slow in some dark ass corner, waiting for someone to run by. Like I feel like the two massive gamer terms that I don't know if it came from Tarkov, but definitely prevalent in Tarkov is Chad and Rat. Those are like the two big ones.
Chad. I've never heard of this in gaming.
Nope.
Are you trolling?
I mean,
I never have either.
Open up any Twitch chat right now.
Okay, Twitch
and
chat
they're calling everyone
different.
Giga Chads and shit like that. Like that's. I feel like
we could spend a whole episode talking about how Twitch chat behaves, like psychologically. Those guys are just different.
Well, I mean, speaking of like the psychology of gaming and stuff like that, like I don't know about you guys, but it's definitely a part of my life where I speak in Twitch chat sometimes. Like I will definitely say Omega lol in real life.
I cannot I cannot compare to that, but I also think it's because I don't watch that much Twitch.
I don't either.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I just love the emotes.
I think it's a culture thing. I think if I think if you're around it a lot, you're gonna adapt to it. So like Isaac, he says Pog constantly.
So do I.
Do you say Pog constantly?
I don't know about constantly, but it's definitely I'm definitely sending my wife Pog emotes.
Does she accept it? Does she just go along with it? No,
she hates it. And she'll say something and she'll be like mad at me and I'll send her the Madge emote.
Oh, I'm sure she loves that.
And she yells at me and then I send her the sad emote.
Yeah, it's funny actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was in the car like yesterday and like we drove by I think a restaurant I haven't seen in a long time and I said out loud very confidently, Poggies. Maybe not in that like tone, but I definitely said, dude, Poggies.
Yeah, my coworkers and I have ironically said Twitch emote stuff in our like team meetings, and it is now just something that we do unironically. But yeah, all the like edge emotes that there's now like like Sag, Madge, Bedge.
Oh. Yeah, Bedge is a funny one.
Yeah, Madge. Here, I'll put it in the chat here.
Oh no.
Madge. I'll bring it up for the viewers as well.
So, I mean, kind of going off that while you do that, I am curious because you two are very much into like multiplayer games only. Is there an aspect as to why that is? Like, do you just like the competitive aspect? Do you like the friendly aspect of that? Do you?
Well, for me, I'm a little
playing with friends.
Dude, he just put the match on screen.
Hold on, I gotta see this.
That's so dumb looking.
Madge.
I don't even know where these stem from. Like who creates this and how does it go viral?
Who knows?
Like
who knows?
I don't know.
I'm just glad they do. Bedge is the other one. This is a good one.
Just for the listeners,
my friends always like
video watchers.
Instead of like you know how people say like LG, like it's their last game.
Oh yeah.
He's always like, it's like yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a Bedge angle.
Oh my god, dude. So for
what
the
was
listeners,
the question before? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Real quick for the listeners, it's if you can't see it, it's a peepo with
it's on screen.
Oh, for the listeners, just in case they
Oh,
listen
the
to it on the
listeners.
the listeners, yeah. So it's just a peepo with like a little nightcap with a blanket.
Yeah, he's like
smiling with his eyes closed. Yeah, he looks great.
laying in bed. It's great. What was your question,
Yep,
Tyler?
Well, the question was, because you two play mainly multiplayer games, is there a psychological reason behind that? Do you guys like the competitive aspect? Do you like the community aspect of it? Do you like just hanging out with friends? I mean, what part of that do you guys enjoy? I mean, it could be a combination of all of it.
Yeah, so for me, it's mainly the competitiveness of it. Like I can't really play. There's got to be like a middle ground, right? Like there's games that I don't know if I want to say that because that's kind of lame to say, but there's
Say
some
it.
games that I don't play because it feels like I'm very good at them, so it's not as fun. And then there's games like Tarkov that make me want to bald or go bald, right? Because I'm ripping all my hair out.
They make you want to go bald. I've never
Yeah,
heard
Yeah,
that
dude.
one.
Sorry, that
before.
was
Yeah. Bulge.
that was a terrible.
I mean, hey, whatever you got to do to describe it.
Yeah. So I was gonna say makes me mauled, which is another Twitch term. But yeah, so like that game is competitive and it's hard, so it's fun. Um, and then like there's games that like I'm actively trying to be better at, like Valorant, right? But like BattleBit, for example, is really easy. So I find it hard to put a lot of time into it. So that game I mainly play with friends, right?
Yeah.
But I don't really play. Well, I mean, I play Valorant with friends too, but it's for like a different reason, I guess. Like it's not just to hang out; it's to actually like play and climb and be better, as opposed to BattleBit, where we're just like running around killing everything. So I don't know.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's definitely, I feel like a competitive aspect is definitely a big factor for me personally. But then there's games that are competitive, that are meant to be competitive, that I feel like I've peaked and I will not get better. And I feel like an example of that would be Rocket League. I could practice for hours and hours and hours, and there are things that I would just not be able to do. If you've ever seen a professional Rocket League player, they do it so effortlessly, and I like.
Yeah, but there's
a reason they're pros.
They also have 10,000 hours in the game.
Yeah, I don't know, but, like
I'm pulling
that's
up
true.
I'm pulling up your hours in Rocket League right now. I'm calling you out.
Please do. I think I peaked at Diamond. I don't think I've gotten any better than Diamond.
Are you basing that off of Steam?
What do you mean?
Are you basing the hours that he played off of Steam?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's that accurate though.
How's it not?
Because I have for sure played a game for 2 hours and it said I had like 14 hours on it.
Oh, it's because you leave the game open.
Yeah, but like, come on. Like, would it count for him playing Rocket League if he was at the main menu?
Yeah, I mean the game would be open then, but
yeah.
Holy fuck, Brett.
What happened?
530 hours?
Oh, wow, that's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, but that game's been out for how long?
Yeah, but like
it's been out for a while.
That's not the point I was trying to make though. The fact that like, so I've also been Diamond in Rocket League, and I have 300 hours in the game. I've definitely left that shit open.
See?
But like, I was Diamond with like 80 hours in the game, right? Like Diamond's pretty high. I think you have 500 hours. You got to think of the people that are champ. I challenge you to hop into a Rocket League game right now and check everyone's hours on that you're playing with. I guarantee it's multiple thousand.
Probably. When did that game come out?
A while ago. Like essentially what I'm saying is that like I don't think you've peaked. There's no way you've peaked. People have put ridiculous amount of hours into that game that are like still improving and stuff. I think it's just playing with a purpose. It's the same thing with shooters as well. Like whenever people go to practice, why can't I look up Rocket League right now? What the fuck?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just comparing myself to like professional players, which is obviously, not a good thing. But, if you look at a player like, what's his name? Benji Fishy.
Come out
He
in
was
2015.
it's been 8 years. Wow.
Actually, a week ago came out 8 years ago.
Holy frick. I remember when that game came out. Jeez.
Are you talking about Benji Fishy? Yeah, Benji Fishy's
yeah.
also just a natural talent.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like all professionals are just naturally good
That's
at
not true.
every game. I feel like they're good at every game. What do you
Not
mean,
true
dude?
at all.
I think if you take a professional player and stick them in a random professional, or not professional, a random multiplayer game, they are going
you're
to be a
saying a
natural.
Rocket League professional can go play Counter-Strike and get high level?
Honestly, yeah,
No, you're high.
I could see it. I could see it.
No fucking way.
They have natural talent.
It doesn't matter.
It's
Natural talent
unreal.
only gets you so far. Like they maybe get like Gold Nova or something, but they're not hitting fucking Eagle.
Well,
If they
so
because like there's so much more to the game, right? Like there's like game sense and mechanics and aiming and like understanding how smokes and flashbangs work and all this other stuff like that aim and shit like that, like things that will make you like things that are natural to you will not make you climb that high if you don't understand the game itself. Like because
I would agree with you if there weren't already professional players that go from Fortnite to Valorant, and they just are just as the Radiant players that can't get any higher until they get onto a better team, onto a professional tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 team.
Fortnite and Valorant aren't that much different.
What?
It's precise aiming. Good Fortnite players don't aim for the body, right? They aim for the head. They try and get the crits. It's very flicky shotgun shots and stuff. Like, yeah, there's a lot of mechanics with building and stuff like that, but that's just a mechanic that Valorant doesn't have. It's in its core, like what they're transitioning over is game sense for one, so understanding where players can be on the map at certain times, right? Like understanding enemy movement, understanding what abilities do, which is not that hard to do, or it's not that bad of a comparison to Fortnite. Saying like knowing what a shockwave grenade does and shit like that, right? Like that, the movement that gives you is not that much different than a raise blast pack. Like there's a lot of comparisons just because the games look differently and play differently. Like there's a good amount that actually transitions over.
I don't know, man. So there's Overwatch professionals that are now Valorant professionals too.
Yeah,
that's
Durka was a
different game.
Durka on Fnatic, I think, was an Overwatch professional.
Yeah.
But I mean, again,
know,
it's still very flicky aim. Like you're not seeing Winston mains that are hitting Radiant super quick, right? Like people that you don't have to aim with in Overwatch. It's your fucking, it's your Cassidys and your Widowmakers and shit that are hitting crazy shots all the time, right?
Widowmaker.
Not to say that there aren't tanks, because I think that you do have to have some sort of good aim to even be high ranked with a tank as well. But like, look at XQC play Valorant, dude. Like that shit is abysmal.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
he's bad at Valorant.
I mean, he's not great. He's like maybe a plat player or something like that.
I don't know. I feel like the games are just very different, and some people are just built with natural talent where they can just hop into a game. Because I mean, if it's no different than Valorant, then it's no different than CS. Because it's all about precision. In the sense of Fortnite, I don't know about Overwatch.
I'm saying there is comparisons, but you're not going to immediately be Radiant switching from Valorant or switching from Fortnite to Valorant. True, but you probably can be pretty high ranked because you're gaining knowledge that isn't just about cranking 90s and shit, right? Like you're understanding sound placement and like if you hear a shockwave, where can someone be? Like you hear gunshots, you hear people fighting, where are they going after they get a kill? Are they going to heal? Like what are they doing, right? Like there's different like mental elements to the game that I think is transferable to Valorant. Or not even just Valorant, but any game. Like understanding player movement is a massive advantage that people don't have. And maybe that's something that people can naturally get. I almost said genetically, but not genetically, but like naturally, I guess. Like maybe that's something. Intuition. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Was
There you go.
maybe there's a natural intuition that people can get from that, but I think that there are a lot of aspects that you still need to hone in by playing those games.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm kind of in the middle ground there. I see it both ways. Not to play the advocate or anything, but like I can see how if someone has the ability to get into Rocket League and fully understand how the game works and be precise with it, like their brain just understands and gets it very quickly, they may be able to transfer those things, like predicting where a car is going or what. I've never played Rocket League, so I don't understand that.
That's
so,
what I was trying to. That's what I forgot. What this sparked up this whole conversation was the
Yeah, I don't know.
talk about Rocket League players switching to Valorant and being immediately high ranked. Like there is a core aspect that they are not training when they go from Rocket League to Valorant or CS or any shooter, and that is aiming, right? But they do have that game sense, intuition, understanding like where people can be, uh, people's rotations. How are they gonna get from that side of the court to the other side of the court? Is he out of boost? Like understanding the boost economy in the game. Like there's that can be transferable to other games, even if they are shooters. They may just need to work on their aim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think psychologically speaking, I think if you are that talented at one game, I think it could be an easy transition into another game if you wanted to.
But is that natural talent or is that years of training?
I mean, it could be both. There are some 12-year-olds that are gradient in Valorant. Some people just are built with it. They're just born with it. I'm not one of them.
Well, I think
Sad.
I think that's also sad. I think that's also an aspect of being brought into it so early on, right? Like we talked about before in an earlier episode, I was 7-year-olds destroying 30-year-olds in Medal of Honor, but it was essentially like brought into my childhood. Like that was now a part of my life. It wasn't just a hobby. Like everything about that was me. So these people had already lived so much of their lives before they started playing that I think it may be an advantage for starting young. Not to say that people can't start older and get better either. Like I know someone that started their first time playing an FPS game was when Valorant came out, and they started bronze and they're radiant now.
Heck yeah.
And they're in their 20s, like in their mid 20s.
And even that, though, they could have done something in their life that led to that skill of being very good at that. Whatever that may be, like a sport that they played or whatever that gave them good hand-eye coordination and understanding like movement. I don't know. I feel like there could be some aspect that they have learned in their life that led them to be really good at that game quicker than most people.
Mm-hmm. So psychologically speaking, do you think anybody could become a professional gamer if they put the hours into the game?
I do not.
I also don't.
I don't think.
What the fuck?
But
I don't think
I agree to disagree.
Everyone understands like map rotations, and I don't think everyone understands the angles that gaming, and I don't know. I genuinely don't
but there's a
think that
difference
everyone...
between playing in a public lobby and understanding those things, and like that's your entire knowledge of it, or to like wanting to learn that stuff, so you take the time to do research yourself, right? Like I have hundreds of hours in private servers in Counter-Strike learning smoke grenades. And then I have hundreds of hours in Valorant custom lobbies learning lineups and how fast people can get certain places whenever the round starts and stuff like that. Like you can naturally get that, but just by playing the game, but understanding it on a much higher level, you have to go out of your way to do. And I think if someone's trying to be professional in a game, they're going to go that extra mile, right?
I mean, yeah, some people, I for sure can get to that aren't already professional gamers, but I'm going to try not to sound really mean right now. I don't think everyone in the world is intelligent enough to be a professional gamer and keep up with the people that can think in milliseconds to make the correct move to make the play that they need to make.
That's fair.
Not everyone's brains work the same. Like there could be someone that like someone's rushing them and they stagger and they like choke up and they don't know what to do, so they get killed. Whereas someone that has a higher gaming IQ can, oh, I'm going to throw a flash. This guy's going to be a flash. I'm going to go in this corner, pop him in the head, boom, done. Like there are people that may not think
it
that
depends
fast.
on the type of gamer that we're talking about, right? That person may not be able to react and do that in first-person shooters, but they may be nuts at strategy games, or they may be crazy at these other games, right? Like I just don't know if I think you can be professional in a game, no matter the circumstance, realistically. Like, plus it's not that like think about real life sports, I guess. I don't know how to describe regular sports. Do I just call it regular sports?
Real life sports.
Because I don't want to call it real sports, right? Because esports is a real sport.
RL sports.
Physical sports, is that?
There we go.
I was just gonna say sports. I think sports is fine, and esports is a completely different thing. I think if you said sports, nobody would get offended by that.
Well, then it makes it sound like esports aren't a sport. If I just say think about sports, it doesn't matter. Regardless, it does. You know what I'm talking about.
Sports,
so think about football. Think about baseball.
For
right?
sure, not everyone can play football for sure.
Right, but think of how you have to get to professional levels. Right, you have to, like. I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but the traditional way is to play it in high school, go to college for football, play football in college for X amount of years. Then you get drafted to maybe an amateur team, maybe a professional team, depending how good you are, right? So like you have to go through all these steps of levels whenever like there's some people that are just so good at a video game that they get picked up and thrown onto a pro team and just to see how they do, right? Look at Bolo for Siege, right? Who was a ranked prodigy in his younger age, right? I think he's only like 23 now or something like that, but he like everyone thought he was cheating because of how good he was. And then as soon as he turned 18, TSM signed him. And then he just ran those lobbies in the pro game, right? Like he didn't have to go through any of this crazy shit or whatever. He was just really good and stood out. Like that doesn't really happen for sports. So I think like the barrier of entry, I guess, is ultimately what I'm arguing against. The barrier of entry is so much lower for video games as there are to like regular sports.
I don't necessarily think I agree with that because there are some very, very young, talented people that just completely. I think Michael Jordan and Kobe are just examples that straight out of high school they got put onto their professional teams, their respective teams. They were just they just had that talent. They were just born with it. But I don't think that with your comparison to football, I don't think that somebody that just turned 30 could learn how to become a professional football player just because they wanted to and just because they dedicated the time to do it. I don't think that's
I don't think they can be professional football players either. I'm talking about video games.
Yeah, that too. I don't think that people would be able to do that in the same sense that they can't become just because they want to become a football player doesn't mean they have the talent to do so. And I think the same thing goes with professional esports.
Well, I think football is a weird comparison because that actually has like a physical detriment on your body, right?
That's
like
true.
If I were to play football now, being 29, I'd get.
You'd break something.
I would actually die.
Not to mention that you know it's people, you know, guys that are 6'6", 350 pounds that are just
right, and there is like an actual natural genetic talent that goes into sports. as
Absolutely.
opposed to I said Val, as opposed to only Valorant, nothing else, as opposed to video games that,
Hmm.
like, I mean, there's people with like
I just
there's people with like muscular dystrophy and stuff that are just fucking cracked at video games. Like, who's that one guy that he like plays with his feet or something, and he's like one of the most. Oh God! Oh, I just thought of someone else. There's someone that has I think his name's like Hansy or something like that. Where
yeah.
he's like a fucking Radiant player. He's
Yeah, he plays with
disgusting.
one. He plays with just his mouse.
Yeah, he's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I just think that there's so much like the opportunities for people in video games are so much higher. I think at least that like it's I think it's a good thing, right? I think it's a good
Yeah,
thing
it's
that the
definitely-
barrier of
it's-
entry is so much lower for video games that like anyone can be a professional.
I agree with that, except for the last part.
Anyone can be a professional?
Yeah, I don't think anybody can be a professional.
Listen, just because you can't be a professional doesn't mean
I don't.
Hey, well, that's
I
a
don't-
case right there.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
not everyone can.
I think if
I'm-
Brett,
I-
so
neither could I.
okay. It also depends on what we're classifying as a professional as well, right? If
paid
we're
by an
talking,
org to play because of my skill, not because I'm a content creator.
paid, I don't know if paid by an org would classify as a professional because there are some orgs that don't pay their players and they only make money off tournament winnings.
Are they on an org?
Yeah.
Then the paid.
Well, what
by
about the people
being on
that?
an
What
org.
about the people that aren't on an org? They just create their own team and then they compete against professional teams. Does that make them
Well,
professional?
Technically, if they're making money from it,
I'm just trying to think of, like,
if you're
think about
a
what
professional
before-
anything.
Think about whenever TSM, the CS:GO roster got dropped, right? They became Team Secret or some Team question mark,
Mhm.
which was eventually became Astralis, right? Like they were competing in tier 1 tournaments and tier 1 majors with no org assigned to them.
Then they would be considered ex-professionals, but they have their own org.
Well, it's not like it. No, there wasn't an org established. They were just 5 people on a team. There was no org. Their team was literally called question mark because they didn't have a name.
Huh. I don't know what you would call them.
I think that was like Kerrigan, and that was like that's like the OG Astralis roster, I think.
Hmm.
To me, I think professional is like if you're competing. Like if you were competing in tournaments and attempting to win, I think that you could be considered a professional. Like because tier 3 players, I think are still professional. They're just not as good. Like that's like amateur pro, right?
Yeah, I could see that. I think you need to make money to be considered a professional.
I don't think that's true at all. You can
I'm thinking of that, and not just in terms of esports, also just like life in general. You know,
like making money from the game.
Yeah, I would consider that being a professional. Like if I was like to I don't know, become a plumber. I'm a professional plumber. That's my profession. That's just what I do.
Does professional? So you're equating professional to revenue and not skill.
Yes, because there are
don't
professional. What would you consider a content creator? Are they a professional content creator, or are they just content creator? Because I think
that goes against your argument. If they're playing Counter-Strike as a content creator, they're being paid for playing the game, so they're a professional.
Yeah, but they're assigned to an org to do that.
Not every content creator is assigned to an org.
That's the tricky thing about it, though, because it's like I'm a professional roofer, but I've never made money off of it. Like
Right.
that to me,
I think it has to do with skill. It has nothing to do with revenue.
I don't know.
I guess I could see that. I don't know.
Well, I see that in both ways. Like I see it in Brett's way because like I'm a professional. I'm going to call myself a professional roofer, but no one has paid me to.
I think
do
if
their
you
work.
make money from doing it, you're just a better professional. I think you're still a pro. But I mean, professional in a word, it means you like a master of craft, right? Like you're proficient in your craft. Just like amateur, right? Amateur pro, amateur whatever, intermediate. Shit like that.
I see where you're coming from. That's interesting.
All right, where do we go from here?
What do we, where do we go?
Well, so I was
We-
gonna take that like the psychology of video games because I think for you, like for me, it's a positive. To you two, it seems like it's been like it's negative almost because like you guys get bored of them so quickly. Have you guys ever had? I'm trying to like find the best way to phrase this here.
Spit it out.
So, you guys both see them as something that's boring right now because you're so used to like the competitive aspect of
What are you talking about?
multiplayer games, right?
What's
Like
boring?
the psychology. I'm talking about the psychology of single player games. Like, do you guys?
Single player games.
Yeah. I'm transitioning from multiplayer to single player here.
I think for me, it's hard to stay invested in them.
Like, do they have to be? I mean, for you, like, did you play Elden Ring, Brett? I think we briefly talked about this.
I did not know. That was one of those games I felt like was very overhyped.
So, Daniel, I'll ask you both this. What was the last game that you played that was a single player game that you were like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, this is why I play video games.
Dave the Diver.
That was it for you?
I'm
That's
actually
your
kind
answer?
of not trolling, to be honest. It's a great game.
Yeah, I saw the
Very
game
well
trending. It's a very goofy looking game.
Yeah.
Single
like-
player game.
I also, like, this is a big feat for me. Let me check my hours in the game. I have 14 hours in the game. That's big. That's big for me.
So for me, this is going to sound a little like obviously I'm not facing 1v1 on to anyone or anything like that on a multiplayer game, but what really got me into single player games was on the Xbox 360 and now on the PlayStation 4, I think is when it really started because there was achievements and then trophies. So back on the 360, it was like, I have this achievement and this person doesn't. Like my friend doesn't have this one.
I actually
Uh-huh.
100% agree with you because I've torrented games and have played them and I'm like I have actual zero stock in this game now because my progression doesn't matter. I'm just playing it to play it at that point. But if I go to like I don't know, completing a level and like doing something really cool and then it pops up a little thing and it's like, "Hey, you're sick."
Hey, you're sick.
I don't know.
And
That's a good dopamine rush, you know?
It is. And then like PlayStation took it. I mean, I remember before PlayStation, I remember on the 360, like just having conversations with friends in school or in party
your
chats
gamer
where it's
score?
like, what did I say?
Hmm?
Yeah, like talking about like my gamer score and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And like, like getting an achievement and this friend didn't know how to get it. It's like, hey, how'd you get that? And it's like, not telling you.
Or it's like how many platinums you got it or whatever.
Yeah.
Legitimately, there's like 2 or 3 YouTubers I watch now. I just watch them platinum games.
Yeah, it's fun. And then I feel like PlayStation took it up another notch, or maybe Xbox did this too. I think Xbox does it now. I don't know if they did at the beginning, but now it tells you the percentage of players that have that.
Yeah.
So it's like that dopamine rush of platinuming a game or getting all the achievements for it and seeing like 0.1% of players have it, and you're just like, haha.
That's true.
Like that has, I mean, there was a point where God, like 2 years ago, I was buying games literally just to see if I could platinum them. And I would spend like, let's just say a game takes 20 hours to beat it and 30% to 100% it. But then you have to spend like another 20 hours to get the other. I mean, I was spending the max amount of time you could on a game just to get all the achievements and trophies and all that stuff. And it took up so much time.
What was your first platinum or your first 100%?
I honestly don't even remember. I would have to
me?
wait.
Assassin's Creed 2.
Can you look that up? Is that possible?
I don't remember what mine was on the X. Actually, no, I think it was Call of Duty 2. I think that was my first one. Call of Duty 2 wasn't that bad. It was like just play through the levels and then beat it on the hardest difficulty and then do like little in mission achievements, like stuff that you wouldn't normally do throughout that mission.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I didn't know that Xbox had that. The last time I played any sort of Xbox console was Xbox 360, and that was like before I got PC.
Speaking of
So-
that, I just bought an Xbox Series X, and I will say it's pretty freaking sweet.
Let's go.
I never thought I was going to buy one. But the cool thing about it is most of the games are backwards compatible. So when you put the game in, even like, for example, Red Dead Redemption, it's 13 years old. It updates the frame rate to 60 frames. It's on a solid state drive, so all of the load times are like 20 times faster than the 360. The graphics were all enhanced, and they do that for so many different games, which was pretty cool.
Not sponsored by Xbox.
Not sponsored by Xbox.
You're
Not
gassing
yet.
it up right now.
I'm just kidding.
I'm gassing it. Yeah,
Check out
not
this
yet.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, where you can get. I'm just kidding.
You know, it's also great. PlayStation, also not sponsored.
What's
I
the,
lo-
what's the
I don't-
PlayStation equivalent? Is that PlayStation Plus Premium or Plus 2
But
or
yeah,
some shit?
Plus 2. Yeah, we'll call it Plus 2.
something like
Yeah,
that.
PlayStation Premium.
I have a
Um,
I have a PS5. I just don't ever use it. I literally got it for God of War. I still never beat it.
I haven't beat.
Well,
the new
actually,
one either.
technically, I didn't even buy it. Actually, Isaac bought it. It's just he beat God of War and then was like, "Here's a PS5."
Like he just gave it to you after that.
Yeah. I mean,
What
it's
about
like it's
whenever-
not mine. It's definitely his, but I keep it. It's in my office.
Does he care about Spider-Man 2?
It's coming out on PC at the same time, isn't it?
No.
I'm pretty sure PlayStation gets it first.
PlayStation has said that they are not going to release their games on PC until 2 years after the normal release.
That's some dumb shit.
Mm-mm.
That's Sony. That's just how they are.
Listen, they could be Nintendo. Okay.
It's true. Yeah.
That is very true. You know,
All right.
to answer your question
Yeah.
about the single player games, I think, you know, thinking about it, I like to complete a game. Like I like to finish a game and like have some sort of satisfaction for it. So if I were to play a single player game, I would only play that. Because if there's like achievements for it, especially if there's achievements for it, I'm going to want to get every achievement. And psychologically, I would just not play multiplayer games anymore. That's probably my best answer that I can give as far as the single player games, because I enjoy watching other people play single player games because I'm not invested. I'm invested in watching them and how they react to it, but I'm not invested personally. And I don't feel the need that I have to be like, oh, I have to know what happens next because I'm not playing. Then I can just get load into my multiplayer game, and then I think there's a dopamine rush for getting an ace in Valorant or a clutch in Valorant. I think I get the same dopamine effect that I get in multiplayers that I would in, you know, getting platinum
Really?
trophies. Yeah, that's just how I view it.
Yeah,
you
it's also
both-
like platinums are also like a grind. It's like the satisfaction of
God.
getting a platinum is completing a grind, as
Mhm.
opposed to like the comparison I think would be most relatable to like I don't know, you hitting like the rank you're striving for, right? So like you hitting you completing from I don't know where you started, gold all the way up to like ascendant or something.
I started at bronze.
Yeah, so like bronze
In
all
the
the way
beta.
to ascendant, right? Like that's a grind that
Yeah,
you've
true.
completed. So I think that would be close. That at least to me would probably be the closest comparison.
Right. Yeah, there's also, I don't know what it is, but I don't love like, well, I don't know. I don't know how to phrase this, but hearing your teammates like gas you up after you get a clutch, I don't know what it is. I could hear it all day long, even if I'm not the one clutching and I'm just in the group and I hear it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's called
it's
narcissism.
Wait,
I'm just kidding.
wait a minute.
I'm just kidding.
Wait a second. You call me out like that, dude. No, but like just being in the group and just hearing it is just so. It's just, I don't know. I can't describe it. It's awesome.
No,
I love it.
I get you.
I'm going through my platinums right now. I for sure think the hardest one that I got was Uncharted 1, because that's like a 10-hour game, and one of the trophies is to beat it in 2.5 hours. and I was able to do it. And then there was another one where it's like complete the game on brutal mode, which if you get shot once, you're dead. Like you cannot get shot, and which is nuts in that game because you're always constantly getting shot at. But I don't remember what my hardest Xbox one was.
I'm pretty sure, like I 100% Assassin's Creed 2 is like my first one, and that's like one of 5 that I've ever gotten. So, I don't know. I just remember jumping into like getting into it, and I was like, damn. Like I remember beating the game, and I only needed like 12 more achievements or something, and I was like, oh, I'm getting these. And then I realized it was like collect all the feathers, do all this
Oh
stuff.
my god, yeah, I did that too. It was so horrible.
But there was like something you could get that would show the feathers on your map in the game. So I was like, that's not too bad.
That is something that drives me crazy about single player games is like just collectibles that don't matter. Like why or ones like that. Like I think they made like that you had to collect like 300 feathers.
Yeah,
it was like,
and it was
why?
to get like
Make
a
it-
cape or something. Like it wasn't even something like think of the new Spider-Man games where you have to like find all the backpacks, take all the pictures, stuff like that. At least with that stuff, you're gaining upgrade points to upgrade your suit and your abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that was actually a pretty big grind on Spider-Man as well because like you had to do all the city missions and there was like 90 per like 9 there was like 5 different crimes you could do and there were like 60 per crime so it was like 400 crimes total that you had to do.
There's a game that I am at 98% from completing completely. And that game is Arkham Knight.
Oh, that game was good too.
I stopped playing it because I didn't realize how many Riddler trophies there were. And I was like, I'm never getting these. And I stopped. And like Don and I were competing on like who could complete it faster. And I just straight gave up. And then he messaged me saying that he beat it. But I was yeah.
Yeah, collectibles definitely sounds like something that I would absolutely just despise doing.
Yeah,
like I would do it.
Fucking what the hell were they called in Lost Ark? The little seeds, the little beans.
Yeah.
Except for those, dude.
Well, I stopped. But yeah,
This guy sat there for
there's
like he's like ruining his sleep schedule to run around and collect all these fucking seeds.
yeah, there's like 1,200 I think or something in the world, and I collected like 600 of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there were a lot. I gave up. I got to halfway.
1,200?
Yeah. It's like, this is good enough, right? Nobody's going to beat this. It's fine.
So do you
Yeah.
guys see, I mean, does playing online, or does it help you mentally, like as far as relieving stress? That sounded like a weird question, but
No, I'm
no.
laughing
You're
because if
stressed,
anything,
yeah.
it does the opposite, dude. It
Yeah,
makes me
hell
fucking
no.
stressed. But it's also like it's a I don't want to say it's a good stress, but it's a stress that like I'm purposely putting myself through, but it's in like I'm trying to improve myself. So it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Like some people find working out stressful, but if you work out, you're making yourself better. Or running, that's I guess more comparable, right? Like some people find running stressful. But it's good for you.
Yeah.
I'll never do it, but it's good for you.
I don't know how good it is for you to deal with, Modern Warfare 2 lobbies and stuff, but
Yeah, I
It's
guess
entertaining.
there's also different types of stress as well.
that's true. It's definitely entertaining. There's an entertainment aspect that goes with it, which I think a lot of people would agree with.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's kind of weird for me because although I don't play multiplayer games, I always enjoyed playing multiplayer games than a single player game. But the weird thing is, like for a single player game, for me, it's more of the sense of accomplishment of beating it and like getting achievements and trophies because there's so many games where I get like halfway through it. I'm like, I just want this to be over, but I'm going to keep going so I can just have that sense of accomplishment of beating it, like saying that I did. And whereas multiplayer, like I can play a multiplayer game like even though it's been a while and I don't play that many. But whenever I do, I could play for 4 hours, and it felt like I've been playing for 30 minutes. But 4 or 5 hours has gone by. Whereas on a single player game, for most games, I can play for an hour, and it feels like torture sometimes.
Well, there's also like the time frame of multiplayer games is so dramatically different now.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to get to if you're trying to win a Warzone game, that's 30 minutes at least. If you're trying to win in League of Legends, that's that kind of fluctuates, but it can be upwards of. I mean, I've played one match for an hour and a half once. Like that shit's nuts. Like going to quadruple fucking overtime in Valorant or something, like that's an hour long game right there.
Yeah.
And it's like I only played one match, and that took an hour, right?
Yeah.
It's like my wife's always like, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go play some games, and she's like, all right, well, how long are you gonna play for? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Can't tell you.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I want to get 5 matches in. That could take an hour. It could take 5 hours. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, wonderful. See you in 5 hours.
Yeah.
Dude, bless the couples or the spouses that approve of gaming. Bless them all.
I don't know
Because
if she
gaming is
approved
a
of
full.
it,
Well,
but she lets me do it, I should say.
I know. I was gonna say Lena really doesn't care, but I also I really only play at night when she's either not home
At night.
or she's in bed, like passed out. So I don't think she really cares.
Yeah, Christina goes to bed super early. Like tonight was like the latest she stayed up, and it's 11. But she usually goes to bed at like 7 or 8.
What?
Yeah.
What time does she have a warm glass of milk with her when she goes to bed?
No.
Like what?
She usually
oh
She
boy,
usually-
fighting words.
like wakes up. She's majority lately. She's been waking up with Henley, our daughter.
I mean, if you get up super early, it makes sense.
Well, Henley sleeps like 12 hours a night too, so I don't know.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Oh,
we put her to
good
bed.
sleeper.
We put her to bed at like 7 or 8, and she doesn't wake up till around then. The next day.
That's
Nice.
impressive.
She's done that since birth.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
How long have we been going, by the way? I didn't look at the time
An
when we
hour
started.
and 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I
Um,
don't know if I want to hit on any other topics for now because I think all are going to be lengthy and probably spark up multiple conversations. So,
yeah. I guess I have one more question before we end this.
for the
so
class, what's up?
for the class, hello. Brett, you said you can only play one single player game at a time, right? Like you can't play multiple if you're really into it.
Yeah, multiplayer is different because I'm not invested in the game. It's like, this game sucks. I'm gonna go play something else, and then I play something else. Single player games, it's like if I play for 2.5 hours, like I need to continue with what I'm doing. And if I start another game, I'm never going back to the first game. That's
Really?
not happening. Or I'll start it over because that just won't happen.
See, I'm almost like the complete opposite. Like if I'm gonna play a multiplayer game, I want to get really good at it. So it's like that's the only multiplayer game I'm playing. And then for single player games, I'm like, all right, I played this for an hour. I want to try something else. Like I think I'm playing 8 single player games. Like not even a joke. I think I'm playing 8 single player games right now because my attention span for each one of those is so low.
I don't know how you do that.
I'm both of yours. If I play a single player game, I'm invested.
Mhm.
But also, if I play a multiplayer game, I'm invested.
So you're
And it's the only multiplayer game that I want to play. Yeah.
so one multiplayer game, one single player game for you.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you think,
most
do you think
of the
that's
time.
Do you think that's like an ADHD thing, or do you think that's like a common thing that a lot of people have? No, I don't even know if ADHD is common anymore, but
You know,
I mean,
It's one of
Honestly-
the most overdiagnosed. Like it's a lot of self-diagnosers think they have ADHD.
gotcha.
it honestly might not even be ADHD. It could just be because let's be honest, like once Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, that's the only game that I was playing, and I was playing it for 5 hours a day, and that's all that I was playing. But maybe it's just
He
the
says
games
5
that I'm.
hours. Like he thinks that's a lot.
Listen, that's a lot.
Fucking rookie.
How about that's a lot for a single player game? Is that good enough to say?
Well, it sounds like the single player games you play aren't very good.
Dude, I remember Austin and I played the first Remnant whenever that came out. We beat it in one sitting, Tyler. One sitting, 16 hours.
I have only
That's
done
insane.
that once, and that was, I think I said this as well. It was Fable 2. That was the only game that I beat in one sitting, and it was like 15 or 16 hours.
Mm.
I don't know. I
it
think
was
it's,
partly because him and I both knew that if we stopped playing it, we weren't
wouldn't
going
play
to
it
play it
again.
again.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also like I feel like, and you guys might be the same for this as well. I mean, we have played so many video games at this point to where if something doesn't stand out or do something different, it's kind of dull. It's kind of boring. Like we've done that, we've been there, done that 100 times. So maybe that's what it is.
I can definitely see that. I'm not hopeful for new games anymore. Every time I get hyped up for a game, it just kind of ends up not being as good as I was hoping, and then they stop development for it, and then it's like, well, I was really excited about that. That sucks.
I'm glad
Sorry,
that
I
you
just
are
know
that.
you're talking about Overwatch.
That was such a shame, dude. That was such a shame.
I am glad that people can admit that, because I have had a lot of friends where I'm going to give an example here. Like Fallout 76 came out, and the little group that I had of friends that were really into Fallout were like, "No, this game is so great." It's like, no, it's not. You're just saying that because you bought it and because you love that franchise and
Yeah,
don't want to shit on it.
I have zero. Like, I feel like I get trolled a lot in our Discord and stuff because I'm like a salesman with everything that I do. With like everything is a hashtag ad, and I feel like people do it or people think I do it because I spent the money on it. And they're like, "Well, of course you're gonna say you like this $60 game or whatever," but like that's really not the case. I have zero. Like I've spent thousands of dollars on League of Legends. I hate that game. That game is terrible.
I'm very confused by that statement.
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's just not a game that I enjoy anymore. So if
Okay,
people
so
ask me like, should I play it? I'm like, nah, save your time. Wait for Arena to come out or something.
Yeah, League is a weird one though, because I feel like a lot of people are like, if you're getting into PC gaming, do not play League. Which I think League is a decent game, but it's just the community that can be a little bit overbearing and a little toxic.
So
I think it's a good game though.
You hated it, Daniel, but you tried very hard to get me into it. I love it.
Well, I loved it then. It was a great game then.
If you say so.
It's the camaraderie that comes with the hating.
The point and click games,
So I play.
Point and clicks.
Yeah, cookie clicker.
What was that fish game that came out like in the 90s? You know what I'm talking about? It was really big on the PC for kids. Oh my god. Oh well. I'll think about it later.
I thought I was going to say Dave the Diver.
That come out in the 90s?
No.
Kind of looks like it though.
Oh,
Dude, you say that, and then whenever you get into the water, everything's like, it's a very cool art style. You got to play it. It's sick.
Did you play?
Never playing any kind of water game. No, thank you.
Did you play Dredge yet, Daniel?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's so addicting.
You say it's addicting. I'll probably play it for 2 hours and never play it again. We'll find out.
Doubt
though.
it.
I'll put it
It's
on my
like
Steam Deck.
It's like a Stardew Valley kind of addiction.
Yeah, I've made a rule for myself as far as like, touching on the play for 2 hours. I don't buy new games. If it's free, I'll download it and I'll play it, but I do not buy new games. I wait a month until after the game is released for a month. If people still play it.
He's so fucking stingy with this, dude. Whenever the new Call of Duty came out, I was like, you should just buy it because we all bought it and we're actively playing it right now. He's like, well, I'll buy in a month whenever everyone's still playing it. I'm like, we'll probably be done playing it in a month, but there's all of this time in between that we could be playing it together. I don't understand that personally.
Or I could save my money and buy something I'll enjoy.
But why do you spend money on a game? Is it to have fun? Because that's what you would be doing if you bought it whenever everyone else bought it.
I can just spend my money elsewhere.
On what? A fucking pizza?
No, dude, Valorant skins.
Fair enough.
Daniel's going to say valid.
Fair enough.
Of course. Good job, Brett. Daniel's not going to argue with that.
Heck yeah. That's the cheat code.
It's true.
So I am kind of I know we're going over time here, but I'm kind of curious with the whole Call of Duty topic. What was the last one that either of you thoroughly enjoyed? Like you played it more than a month?
The newest one,
Really?
Modern Warfare 2, yeah, or Modern
The only
Warfare
rea-
2022.
I'm saying that as well because Xbox, Microsoft just bought Activision.
Yep,
heard about that.
seen that.
So every Call of Duty is supposedly going to be on Game Pass, which is pretty nuts. So if you have PC Game Pass,
Dang!
there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Um, yeah.
That's pretty neat. That's a shout
They
out
are-
to you know who you are. Nothing. Go on. Carry on.
Inside jokes that no one else in me and Brett don't understand,
Yep.
unless Brett does.
I don't understand it, but it is what it is.
Carry on.
So yours is the newest COD, Brett.
Mhm.
The last one that I bought and enjoyed was Black Ops 4.
I was gonna say you better say Black Ops 4 because we put a lot of time into that game.
Yeah,
That
I
was- you
wanted
know,
to
that
enjoy
was another
Blackout.
one. He was like, "Yeah, I'll wait a month to buy it," and I was like, "No, dude, buy it now." And guess what he did? He bought it now. We had fun.
And then guess what? The game went up in flames.
It's true.
Just hot flames.
He couldn't play Blackout for some reason.
Yeah, dude. Blackout would just break my PC. And then multiplayer was just flashlights, shotguns.
Oh god.
Stupid
The
game. I
meta
hate that
was
game.
So stupid in that game.
They didn't change it. They never changed it. It was always the same.
It's like fucking 9 bangs, dude. 9 bangs and
Oh my, those are the worst.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just terrible.
yeah. And I didn't play the Modern Warfare that came out in 2019. I
Great
did play
game.
Warzone, but I don't think that is considered a Call. I mean, I guess it's Call of Duty, but it's like its own
Came out
thing.
with that Call of Duty.
Yeah, I enjoyed Warzone a lot. I don't enjoy it anymore, but it was good. It was a good game. I didn't play Cold War. I didn't play Vanguard.
Didn't miss anything with those.
I didn't play Modern Warfare 2, and I haven't touched Warzone 2.0.
I was gonna say, when was the first year I'm looking now, like the first year that I skipped out on getting Call of Duty? Got that one.
The only Call of Duty that I have that I still don't own it. The only Call of Duty that I have not bought is Vanguard.
Really?
That game,
That
Mine-
game
I
was
know
hot
everyone.
trash.
I know everyone will say this about every single Call of Duty, but that game to me was the most like it felt like just a money grab more than anything.
Oh yeah.
Why do you?
Um,
I didn't play. Like, why do you say that? I'm just curious.
Dude, it released a year after Cold War. Like I thought it came out so fast after Cold War. I thought it was an expansion.
Aren't they all a year?
It's 2 years, I think, right?
So there's two different
Well,
studios.
it's a
and they
year for
release-
each studio. Yeah. Or it's 2 years for each studio. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So you're saying that?
but this was
because
the
it
same studio. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Didn't Vanguard have like microtransactions where you could get a gun from it from like buying cases?
That's how World War II was. I don't know if that's.
That might be the game that I was thinking of, which came
Yeah,
out.
there's been a
6
few
years
Call
ago.
of Duties that were like that. Like I think Black Ops 3 was like that as well.
That's interesting.
There was like they released a new gun, and the only way that you could get it was through an RNG loot box. Actually,
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, I don't like that.
wasn't great. I think they eventually added it to where like it was a guaranteed thing if you bought X amount of cases, but it was still like. And what sucked even harder was that the gun was meta. So it was like
Yikes.
if you didn't
Oh,
have it, like
yikes.
they purposely made it very strong.
Just so you kept spending money to get loot boxes
Yeah.
to get this gun.
That's like
Dude,
that's like the downfall of Activision for me. That was whenever it was like, okay, you guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
dude, I think we could spend a whole episode talking about just Call of Duty in general.
We could. I
Just-
also feel like it's a very dead topic. As in everyone talks about Call of Duty.
Yeah, dead game.
Yep.
Dead game.
I agree.
No.
Dead
But
franchise.
yeah,
What
so
a
that's pretty much time. That's actually overtime of what we were intending.
Dude, hour goes
so-
by so fast.
It does. An
It's
hour does
crazy.
go by fast, but I also feel like I feel sorry for anyone that listens to my voice for that long. So Yeah,
It's
I
okay, we
got
forgive you.
something we can, let's do closing remarks here. Tyler, where can people, what are you playing? What can people, we didn't do this last episode, but what games you playing? Where can people find you?
They can find me in never
The
anywhere.
Gamers Hollow podcast
They can find me
every
in this
Monday.
podcast. So what have I've been playing? I'm replaying Red Dead,
The
the
first
first
one?
one.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Because Xbox, it looks so good on the Xbox Series X.
I'll take
I
your
know
word
there's
for
like, you should. There is a rumor of a remake of it coming out, but I feel like if you have this, it's looks so good.
Nice.
Nice.
What else have I been playing? Skyrim still, because that game's 200 hours to beat.
It's great.
Final Fantasy 16 still.
I'm
gonna punch him in the mouth.
He put a thumbs down.
I know where you live. I'm gonna punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Dude, at this point, it's just a weekly thing to hate on Skyrim.
It is. We'll make that a segment. We'll give Daniel 2 minutes to talk shit on Skyrim every
I'm
episode.
any longer than that.
I mean, the course of 500 episodes. Hopefully, you can get it out of your system. But
Yeah, maybe. Who
we'll see.
knows?
Dude, watch at the end. He's going to be the biggest fanboy.
I played it.
That'd be
I played
that'd be
so much of
great.
it. I don't like it.
Here's how I feel like your experience went. You opened the game, saw snow, and then immediately left and never came
Dude,
back.
check my hours in Skyrim.
Yeah, but how many of that is just the game open,
Yeah.
No, I even tried modded. Like I'd even tried doing some cool shit, and I was just like, this is still so boring.
Okay. Well, I have nothing else to say to you then.
Yeah.
Those are the games. What about you guys?
Nice. I haven't really been playing like video games. My mom has been in town for the past week, so closing a house and whatever. But I haven't really played any games. I've played some board games, but that's the extent of the games that I've played this week.
What board games?
Yeah, I was gonna say what kind of
Talking
board games.
classics like Sorry.
We actually don't have Sorry. We wanted to, but we didn't have it. But we played a game called Sequence, and we played Codenames, which was also pretty fun.
Codenames is fun.
It's very fun.
Where can people find you, Brett? Answer the fucking question. The full question. I'm gonna ask.
Listen, I forgot. Okay, I'm sorry. You can find me on twitch.tv/Zealander4. And if you have an Amazon Prime sub,
Okay, we're done. Moving on.
Okay, listen here, Courage.
Smash that like.
For me, same as it always has been. Valorant. And
Skyrim.
Dave the Diver.
Oh hell yeah!
Let me guess, Brotato.
I play a little Brotato on the Switch. It's good. It's good, or not on the Switch. On the Steam Deck. It's a good time killer. Good time sink.
Daniel, you do you. Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. BattleBit a little bit, and some Fortnite a little bit.
Wait, Brett, I heard that you were going to. Is this true? You're going to be streaming Batman soon.
Yes, very
I
soon.
Did hear this? This is big news. He
Yeah,
even
I
said
actually
maybe the Resident Evil games, which
Yeah, I have to buy them, but yeah, I will definitely play them on stream. I actually hooked up my Go XLR Mini, and I have OBS on my other monitor. I've been working on it for the past like 3 or 4 hours before the podcast started. So,
hell
Brett,
yeah.
I'm gonna have your Twitch up on all 3 of my screens in this office. I will be ready.
Why?
great.
I don't know.
Just
so I Just so I don't miss it.
That's pretty much it for games played by me, and you can find me Twitter, Riot Turndo, and kind of dabbling in streaming again, and that is Turndo3 on Twitch.
Yeah, but before we end, weren't you dabbling on trying to figure out if you're gonna you're gonna rebrand?
Oh, if I was gonna rebrand, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think
All
so.
right.
I was thinking about doing Turn Do with a U instead of an O.
Like DEW.
No, like just a U.
Mountain Turn Do,
Turn Do.
not sponsored.
DU. People
Okay,
say it's
well.
more fun to say, so they like it more. Also, I can potentially stop getting called Tornado, which would be nice.
No, dude, don't ruin that for me. That's great. I love turn. What is it?
Tornado.
Tornado. But yeah, that's it. Thanks
Yeah,
for watching. Be sure
Yeah.
subscribe, like, heart, 5 stars, whatever the fuck.
Wow, you didn't say dislike this time. Good job.
Dislike, 1 star.
God damn it.
Report to video. Anything for
Blackmail.
engagement, you know?
Yes. Thank you for
Bad.
listening.
Bad press is good press.
All right. Have a good time, everyone. See ya.
Bye.